What is going on, you guys? It is the Talking Sasquatch, and it's great to have you back. The Flipper Zero community is full of so many talented people. They've all come up with these big group projects, and people have been doing this basically since Flipper started. Now, these projects include things like the animation maker, the RGB backlight mod. These things have been going on for a long time, and I mean, some of them really take a while and a lot of expertise to figure them out. Now, one of these projects has been pretty much one of the most infamous things that I've seen for a while. In fact, I actually called it a cursed project at one point. So many people have tried and so many people have failed that we were really wondering if it would ever actually happen. Well, with a ton of work by the community, ZR Kraken finally got the case figured out. The pogo pins line up, the GPIO holes line up, everything on these models is down to the numbers perfect. Now, as soon as ZR mentioned that he had a working model, I knew I had to do what I have to do, which is go and ask PCBWay to print out some crystal clear cases for us. So I uploaded the model, tweaked some settings around, and found the perfect combination to get us the absolute best clear case you can get. So this is what we came up with. This thing is so clear, my camera doesn't even want to focus on it. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. I mean, look at that thing. It is completely gorgeous. If I move out of the way, you can see, like, it is super, super clear. So today I'm going to walk you through the entire process from ordering to installing a crystal clear case of your own. I promise you, if you follow these steps, you will not be disappointed. Also, be sure to watch till the end because I got a surprise for what I'm actually putting on my original Flipper. Alright, that's enough intro, let's get right at it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you where to get the file and how to get it printed. So let's hop down to the desktop and I'll show you how. All right, so we're just going to go to printables.com, and then once we're in here, we're going to search for Flipper Zero case. And then right up top, here's our boy ZR Kraken, and you can see the Flipper Zero case right here. Now, ZR is actually in the replacement parts competition right now, so download this, save it. It's hopefully going to help him win this one. So the files we actually want are for the front case V3 and the rear case V2. These versions of the files were actually kind of modified because I got my case. We made some measurements, noticed that some things could be bigger, some things, could be changed. So these are the most optimized versions. So we're going to download this and we're just going to drop this on my desktop for now. There's one and then there is two. Fantastic. One thing I do want to point out and be very clear about, this work is licensed under Creative Commons, which means that sharing without attribution is strictly prohibited. They're not for commercial use. You cannot sell these. We do know what these models look like, and we can identify if you're using these models, so do not do that. So now that we have our files, let's go over to PCBWay.com, and we're going to go to the 3D printing tab right here. Boom. So we're going to select our files right here. Let's go to desktop, and we've got our front and rear case files. Let them upload. Okay, so we're going to edit both of these. Just drop this down. We're going to set our quantity to 1. Now we're already in resin. We want the UTR 8100 transparent. Super nice finish on this. They're so clear. It's going to be a spray varnish. I mean, you've seen them. And then we're going to specify down here printing risk, wall thickness risk taken. We're going to click that. Now, these prints do have some thin walls, so it is possible there could be some imperfections, but it's just how this case is. If you're concerned, order a few of them. I've got a bunch, and they all printed really, really nicely. So, I mean, I've proven that they work pretty well, but again, there is some risk with this because of the wall thickness. Now we're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing for the next one. Quantity 1. UTR 8100 transparent, and we are gonna say the wall thickness risk taken. Scroll down, or scroll back up for that matter, and then we can just submit the request right there. It's that easy. Now, if you combine both of these 3D files into a single file, it may actually cost a little bit less to print. Individual results may vary. But yeah, you just hit submit request. It does have to go through a review process, but since you click the thing down here that says about the wall risk, they shouldn't come back and say there's an issue with it. And yeah, then as soon as it's been reviewed, they'll give you the actual price, and then you can have it shipped over. I'm not sure if they shipped it faster for me, but I mean, it took me, I think, a week or maybe a week and a half once I went through the review process to get everything done, but it was pretty freaking quick. And then obviously you'll have to pay shipping. So again, it kind of makes sense in some ways to order a couple of them just in case you're, if you're concerned about breaking one when you're installing it or things like that. It's a little bit less expensive. Maybe, group up with some of your buddies and buy a few of them so you can save on some shipping. Either way, this is how you get the shells. So let's hop into actually installing this thing. All right, we're down here now, so let's grab our flipper, and yeah, it's an end of an era. The flip squatch is coming off, so let's start peeling this off. Actually, I'm just gonna razor blade it off. That should be way easier, right? Since I'm taking the case off anyway, so let's do that. We can keep it intact. Got our jerry rig everything knife, and let's see if we can be right on this seam. Now, I've done a poor job of this in the past, and I'll probably do a poor job of it right now, but let's see if we can do this well. Is that the seam, or is it where I thought the seam was? We'll find out, I guess. That lines up there. That lines up there. Well, we'll see when we go to take this thing apart. Alright, cool. Leave the knife out. Let's get in there. Alright, so we've got our... Let's not open it upside down. ES15 screwdriver. Printed a cool little case for it. Now, this actually didn't come with the best bit for it, so I had to grab one from my iFixit kit. But this is a... Let me double check. I think it's a 0. Alright, yep, confirmed. It is a PH0, Phillips head 0. Pop these out of the way. And let's start unscrewing these screws. Now, I know a lot of people have stripped these out. I don't know how, but I know a lot of people have. Just make sure you have the right screwdriver. Whoops. Make sure you have the right screwdriver, and it should come right out. There we go. Alright, let's see if this thing comes apart now. Carefully. So sketchy because, again, I'm not sure if I cut everything in the right place, because, mistakes happen. That's lined up there, that's lined up there. Yeah, okay, I definitely missed again, the same way I missed last time. So let's start on this end. There we go. And let's go across. In efforts to save this this skin, I'm like destroying everything, but that's how we do. If you've ever seen me take things apart like this before. There we go. Perfect. Now, come apart. See, I've got an edge over here. Yeah, run your fingernail around. Now, I've got a guitar pick here. This we're going to use in a second anyway, so you can start using the guitar pick to go around the edges. Once you start to get it apart, again, be very careful not to break off your pogo pins. That's something that a lot of people have done. It's, not super, super hard to take this apart, but again, breaking the pogo pins have been a big deal for everybody. Cool, we got that taken apart. Now let's free our screws from here, since they're stuck in with the case. Can I poke through? What am I gonna do? Hold on, let me find something to poke that with. Oh, this'll work. Whoops, making a mess. Over here, solder. Didn't think we were gonna need solder for this project, but here we are. Solder for poking, there we go. There we go, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got our 4 screws over there. So if we look very carefully at our case, we'll see, it's hard to tell, but this screw up here and then this screw down here are the 2 ones that we need to take out of this in order to get this case off. So let's go ahead and take that off easily. We can kind of leave them in there if they want to stay, that's no problem. This guy's recessed in this little hole. Not wanting to come out easily, but that's okay. There we go. And then I believe this should come right out. Give it a little asking nicely, but okay. Nope. Let's take out this screw over here. I always forget which screws you need to take out. Let's just keep this over there. What about now? Can we come out? Okay. So maybe we're going to take out some extra screws in the process here. I swear I do this every time. Alright. Are we free now? Oh shoot, I always do this too. Like, take the memory stick out. The SD card. Always what happens to me. Take the SD card out. There we go. Now, we should come right out. Brilliant. Perfect. Let me actually screw this board back on because it can stay on. Thought this was a magnetic screwdriver. Hold on. Let's get in there. Back in. Cool. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now we are going to need to take the screen from this one out. This kind of pops right on out. And then this little black piece for the IR, I'm going to take this out. Be a little, you gotta wiggle it pretty good. Yep. Almost. Almost. And there's a little kind of like rivet down there, so I think I can pry that off with something. It's not very hard to do, but, you know, you got to actually do it. So, we got a little knifey knife over here, and let's see if we can pry this off without stabbing ourselves too badly. There we go. Got that right off. Now, for mine, what I'm actually going to do is clip this, because this part gets in the way of the coil, and it's ugly. So I'm just going to clip this off. We're not going to need it in the new case. There we go. That guy's gone. So we can go ahead and prep the front. We're going to put this in the window slot. Well, actually, let's wait till the end for that. We're going to take off the NFC sticker from this. So let's move everything out of the way here. Keep this. That's trash. All right, make sure we don't lose any of our screws. So this sticker needs to come off. It's just a PCB and it's flexible, but it's a little tricky to get off sometimes. We're going to use our guitar pick here to get underneath it and start working it up. So let's see if we can get in there, but let's see if it comes off easily first. I do have a heat gun, which I might use. Yeah, so let's grab a heat gun and see if we can heat this up a little bit and make it easier. So this is a very weak heat gun, so I'm not going to have to worry too much about ruining anything, but turn this on, you can hear it going. And then we're just going to start to heat this up a little bit. We don't want to fry anything, so we're not going very hot. Just a little tiny bit. That'll be enough. Turn this off, try not to burn myself or my house down. And then get our pick and start prying this off real slowly. That feels a little better. There we go. Oops, sticking to the adhesive in the back. And I've found that if you kind of slowly wiggle it, it'll come off. Just got to be careful. Try not to break anything. Work the guitar pick around. This is a slow process. You'll slowly get the adhesive off. If you try to rush it, bad things will probably happen. So again, just kind of be careful and take your time. It'll get off in a second. You can hear the adhesive letting go. Here we go. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, and you can see how sticky that adhesive is. There we go. Bend this back a little bit, and we're ready to go. Make sure those holes are empty, and just don't place this down on the adhesive, or it'll get stuck to whatever you stick it on. Cool. Case off. Now here is the big reveal right here. I don't just have the clear cases. I have this case. This gorgeous translucent blue case. This one I got special. This one's just for me. It's not cheap, but man, it is gorgeous. So we're going to go ahead and get this guy prepped to install. So first things first, we'll pop this off. And then we kind of want to get an idea of where the NFC lines up. So let's put the front window back in. It doesn't really clip in super good. So, you know, it's not going to be a problem. It's going to be mushed up against the top. So we won't worry about that. And then the little IR guy is the same deal. This will pop right in the side here. This actually fits really nicely. I mean, again, it just goes to show like how good this 3D model is. So yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. So one thing to notice on here is actually right here. It's hard to see, but those two pins, let's get real close to the camera. Those two pins right there contact the contacts on there. So these need to line up when it's put back on. So something to just be really aware of. We can drop this here for safekeeping. Right there. Give it a little wiggle to get it in place. Perfect. And then we're going to go ahead and stick this onto the back here. So again, we want to make sure that all of this is going to line up properly. Otherwise, the NFC is not going to work. So this is going to go, it lines up quite well with the line for the I button. And then, whoops, that's not the right spot. So let me grab my guitar pick. We'll pop it back off before touching it too much more, because that adhesive is super, super sticky. So if you give it a chance to stick to something, it's gonna be hard to get off. So let's be real nice to it. Yep, there we go. Get this lined up again. Hold that in place there. Line everything up. And that should be the right spot right there. Looking really, really good. Give it a little bit of stick here. And yeah, we're ready to start putting our screws back in. So we'll move this over here and grab some of our short screws. Now, they say in the instructions there's a short one and a long one, and it doesn't always seem that way, because I've seen a few people take these apart and they do look like there's different sizes. There we go. Now, you have to be really careful because these will... You can ovalize or round out these resin screw holes pretty easily. So we're going to actually just push this one in by hand because, yeah, we don't want to strip these out. The whole thing fits together and works really well. It's just that, again, this resin's very soft, so we want to make sure we don't strip anything out. So that one's on like this. And then we're going to actually put the rear on, make sure everything lines up, which it does. Then we're going to start it back up before we do anything else, because we want to make sure that... Whoops, the screwdriver's still going. We want to make sure that the everything works as it's supposed to. So, cool. Second. Also just scared the heck out of myself because I forgot to put the SD card back in. And let me turn it off first, which means it forgot all of my RGB settings. So I'm like, uh-oh, did I mess up my RGB mod? Probably not. Plug that back in. Hey, RGB is still working. Let me turn down the brightness on that so you can see the screen. Awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to test some NFC real quick to make sure that sticker is lined up. So let's go to NFC and then read. Let me grab a NFC card. All right, so we've got one of our cards. Hold this whole thing together as tight as we can, and cool. Still works. It reads the card, no problem. So let's get this thing screwed back together. Let's just get out of here, exit, and let's turn this thing off. Put it back down. Let's get some screws in it. Don't need this card anymore. And drop our screws into the screw holes. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I don't know why I counted so funny, but it works. And let's just get them screwed back in. Oops, come here. And then give it one little scooch to make sure everything's happy. Do not strip these out. Do not strip these out. Alrighty. Whoops, I didn't even turn it off. It's still on. That's fantastic. But look at this thing, man. So cool. Let me turn on my manual focus so we can see this better. Alright, so check this thing out. It's so cool. You can see the coil right there. That's why I clipped off the little foot on the IR so you could see the coil really well. And we're actually working, ZR is working on replacing the black part behind the buttons so that that's not visible through the case, and you can print it into a different color or clear again. But everything's so nice on here. Let me grab the clear one, which was actually over here the whole time, hiding in plain sight. This is the first one that I did as a proof of concept to make sure everything was working and all the tolerances are, we're good. So let's turn this on. But yeah, look at that. This is just how clear this thing is. It's so nice when it's installed. You can see, again, that's why, see the black part there over the coil? I didn't like that. I'll probably take that off at some point. But yeah, I mean, these things are absolutely gorgeous. Now, I did mention that there was some overspray, so I actually drilled these out by hand. But yeah, they came out super nice. I mean, I'm so psyched on how good these look. So yeah, there's my transparent flipper collection right here. Nobody's got anything that looks like this quite yet, but now I showed you how to do it, so you can get one of these, coming your way. And there you have it. It's that easy to put it all together. So I'll give you another close-up look at this guy. So look at how good this thing is. It's so sick. You can see through everything. You can see the coil super cool. Look at the back here. You'll even see this pogo pin that miraculously disappeared at some point in time during the video. That one's back too. But yeah, so nice. I mean, these things couldn't have come out any better. Let me show you the clear one up close again. There we go. And it's just so nice. It's completely and totally crystal clear. I do want to pull the adhesive off of the NFC because it's kind of ugly, but I'm a little concerned about it ripping traces off, so we'll see if that's something I do in the future. Now on Astro's RGB board, because you'll notice this one doesn't have an RGB board in it, there is a LED out. So there's actually a reason why this flipper has the clear case, and it's because when I put the guitar pick stuck. When I put my RGB mod in it, I'm going to put some LEDs inside here, so we'll have a whole nother video doing some cool stuff. I want to thank PCBWay again for hooking me up with these cases. They came out better than any of us could have possibly imagined, and now you can have one too. I also want to thank all you guys. Last video on the Bluetooth BLE blew up like crazy. We've had so many more people in the Discord, and we've got some really exciting things coming up. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because again, we got some really cool stuff coming up. We'll catch you next time.